Tonight on the Electric Playground, animated heroes team up for action in Punch Time Explosion XL, and action heroes hit shelves with the latest Hasbro collectibles.
Today I'm creating my own chaos with the Chaos Pad Quad from Korg.
The Sonar will bring you sci-fi, barbarians, and spy kids, so keep it dialed to EP.
And animated holiday magic awaits with the creative team behind Arthur Christmas. Hey everyone, welcome to the Electric Playground, the show that gives you the latest in everything cool every single day. I'm your host, Brianna McIver, and we've developed a sweet rundown for you, so let's get going. All new episodes of Arrested Development are in development, and they're headed to an unlikely place. The producers have announced that all new episodes of Arrested Development will debut on Netflix starting in 2013. This will make it one of the first shows available exclusively on the streaming service. Word first surfaced last month that the short-lived comedy would be back. There's no word yet on how many episodes will be made or who will return. It also remains to be seen if the long-awaited Arrested Development movie will be greenlit.
That is what I want to hear.
Leonardo DiCaprio may be better, stronger, and faster than he ever was before. The star of J. Edgar is rumored to be in talks to play the bionically enhanced astronaut Steve Austin in a big-screen remake of The $6 Million Man. According to Latino Review, the film will take place in the present day and be titled The $6 Billion Man. Superman Returns director Bryan Singer is reportedly attached to helm. He's also working on a big-screen adaptation of the Battlestar Galactica franchise and a remake of the classic adventure tale Jack the Giant Killer. Expect that to slay cinemas next year. TV audiences finally know when they can set sail down the river. The frightening new TV series is set to hit the airwaves on February 7th, 2012. The river sees a family of explorers searching for their father in a scary, uncharted section of the Amazon, and uses the same found footage style as the Paranormal Activity series. It's co-created by Paranormal Activity director Oren Peli and produced by the legendary Steven Spielberg.
A while back, I was having lunch with Steven Spielberg. He said to me, we should do a TV show together. And at that point, I'm still trying to figure out the movie world, and I wasn't really thinking about TV shows, but Spielberg tells you, let's do a TV show. I'm like, okay, I'll start thinking of ideas.
We'll uncover more details on the river as its premiere date approaches. You can friend the Mission Impossible franchise with an all-new Facebook game. The makers of the upcoming film Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol have launched Mission Impossible the Game on Facebook. Players take the role of an IMF agent and carry out top-secret missions across the globe. Fans also have a chance to win tickets to the premiere of Ghost Protocol by playing the game. The film will infiltrate cinemas next month. It looks like the end is in sight for TV's favorite serial killer, Dexter. The Bloody series has been renewed for a 7th and 8th season. Variety reports these will be the final 2 years for the show. It seems the producers are already brainstorming ways to bring the story of Dexter to an epic conclusion. The 8th season will slice up screens in 2013. Before you start worrying about the 7th and 8th seasons of Dexter, Season 6 will conclude December 18th.
All together once again.
And one of the greatest filmmakers of all time is taking 3D to new depths. Director Martin Scorsese's first 3D feature film, Hugo, will begin popping off theater screens later this week. Scorsese worked closely with Avatar director James Cameron in exploring artistic new ways to use the eye-popping technology. Both filmmakers hope 3D will help pull audiences deeper into the stylish world of Hugo.
It's almost like watching a sculpture that moves. With the right performances and the right moves, it's almost as if it's a mixture of theater and film.
We'll go deeper into the story and characters of Hugo later this week. Scorsese is next set to helm a film based on the Swedish serial killer novel The Snowman, which begins shooting next year. Uncharted 3 players will be able to explore familiar locales with the next batch of downloadable content. Developer Naughty Dog has announced the Uncharted 3 Flashback Map Pack #1.
I'm on fire!
It offers 2 new multiplayer environments based on maps featured in the game's predecessor, Uncharted 2, and will arrive soon. Another round of DLC is already available, giving players in-game multiplayer costumes and items based on the Killzone series. One of the stars of Game of Thrones is taking on another fantasy epic. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Game of Thrones co-star Kit Harington will play King Arthur in a new movie about the fabled British leader. The film will have a more comedic tone than Game of Thrones and is being helmed by the change-up director David Dobkin. Shooting is scheduled to begin in March 2012. If you're craving more fantasy action, the second season of Game of Thrones will hit the airwaves in April. Legendary filmmaker Ridley Scott and actor Gerard Butler are planning an African coup. Deadline reports that the star of Machine Gun Preacher is set to play the lead role in a film based on the true story of British mercenary Simon Mann. He led a failed military uprising in Africa back in 2004 and is currently serving life in prison. The film will be helmed by Robin Hood director Ridley Scott and is just one of several new projects for the filmmaker. Scott is currently working on a prequel to his original Alien movie and is also set to helm a sequel to his science fiction classic, Blade Runner. And it looks like the online shooter Counter-Strike Global Offensive is back on track. The game's overdue closed beta test is finally set to begin on November 30th. The test was slated to go online last month, but developer Valve delayed it at the last minute, leading to fears that the final version of the game would also be pushed back. Counter-Strike Global Offensive is still slated to deploy in early 2012. Up next, collectibles from a galaxy far, far away and animated magic from the North Pole. Welcome back to the Electric Playground. Yesterday in the show we told you all about Hugh Laurie's character in the animated film Arthur Christmas, and today we're going a little more in depth with a tour of the Sony Animation Studio.
Arthur Christmas is hitting theaters. It's a big, grandiose movie about Christmas. What went into the VFX?
The movie basically shows you how Santa gets the job done in one night. So what we needed to make was a believable world, a world that we could put you into. Instead of putting you in a Christmas world, we wanted to show you in your world how Christmas was done. So to do that, we had to make the world.
That is a huge job. So where do you begin with all of that work?
For us, we flew to Bristol, England, lived in Bristol with the creative team at Aardman, and basically just got inside the director's head. I wanted to know where she wanted to spend her time, her effort, what was important to her. So you start by figuring out your characters, really. We had a good idea what Arthur was going to look like. We had a fairly good idea of what Santa, Grand Santa, but you just start with your main characters and you expand out from there.
From a visual effects standpoint, what do you want audiences to know about Arthur Christmas?
From a VFX standpoint, if I could tell you one thing about our film, it's just to notice the attention to detail. Notice the size of the world that we created. And there's a lot of effort in making that much variation, that many types of environments, that many types of elves, just to bring it to a level of reality. Just to, once again, we want kids to look at it and go, that's my world. It must work, because look, it's happening in my world.
Who cares about one single child?
What were some of the things that were important to you guys when creating this story?
It's always about character. You're always trying to figure out who your characters are in the scenes. And so we have a lot of action stuff as the movie rolls along. We have a road trip kind of concept. But within that road trip concept, we're always looking for those universal themes. What's it like to realize your grandfather's crazy? And I think Arthur, as a character, trying to find his arc, trying to find his journey from being naive to being aware, and then at the end of the film, still being innocent enough that you love him.
Animated movies are often seen as just for kids. How do you guys make it interesting for grown-ups?
Well, we're all grown-ups, and I think we're immature grown-ups, but I think we try to tell stories that we'd want to see, that we'd want to listen to. I think most of us are parents, most of us are kids at heart, so those two things exist in our psyche, so it comes out in the storytelling.
Christmas will be delivered around the world tomorrow in theaters and sure to be found in stockings everywhere this holiday season are toys from Hasbro. Here's Shaun with a look at their latest lineup.
Scott, a lot of people are really excited about the Avengers coming to theaters, and they're going to want to bring that home, and we can with these Avengers toys. What are the figures you guys have here at Hasbro?
We're excited, too, about the Avengers project. I've been an Avengers fan my whole life. I've been waiting for this movie since I was about 5 years old. We're showing a new Loki, we're showing a Hawkeye, we're showing a Black Widow, all totally movie accurate. The movie likenesses are absolutely incredible.
By now, we've all played with Star Wars toys, so we know how to play with them, but there's another way that we're going to get to play with this universe with Star Wars fighter pods. What are these?
Shaun, they're incredibly cool, right? They're these little miniature collectibles from Star Wars, and it's all about amassing your collection in a very fun way, but they actually come with little pods. The pods open up, put their little fighter pod characters inside of it. We have over 100 different characters, so you have everybody from the lore, and then there's like a spinning top, so it's all about action battling as well. So you spin your guys into the other guys, knock them over. It's all about spin, drop, roll, crash, and collect.
As a Transformers fan, I am very intrigued by Hasbro's Creo Transformers. What is this line all about?
So Creo was the new introduction into the construction space for Hasbro. You get all the great Transformers figures in both the robot and vehicle mode. You've got everything from Bumblebee to Optimus Prime. You get fantastic Ratchet and Prowl and everybody in the whole big mix, including Megatron, Sentinel Prime, and you get our great characters in the Creon figures.
And of course, you could maybe make an unholy combination of Optimus Megatron.
You can customize them as you please.
What new things are coming for fans of G.I. Joe?
I got to tell you, the guys that started on in the 60s have a lot of new stuff coming. They have Slaughter's Marauders against the evil Dreadnoks, and a lot of great characters in there that everybody's going to remember from the 80s. And then we're also debuting all of our new characters for Spring 12. We actually have Zombie Viper, Tunnel Rat, there's a new Storm Shadow sculpt and a new Scarlet sculpt as well. So really cool depth.
Because there are so many different G.I. Joe lines coming out and there's different representations of these characters, do you have a personal favorite?
For me, I'm a Snake Eyes guy.
Ooh, I'm a Storm Shadow guy. We might have to fight after this.
So, battle's on.
Our Toy to the World series will continue tomorrow with a look at some remote control toys, and don't you dare touch your remote because there's more EP coming up right after this. Up next, action awaits with a barbaric Blu-ray and an explosive Punch Time game. You're back here at the Electric Playground, and Shaun is here now to punch you. Well, sort of. He's going to tell you all about the Cartoon Network's Punch Time Explosion XL.
Richard, you and I just played Cartoon Network Punch Time Explosion XL, and you beat me very badly, and I think you have an unfair advantage having worked on the game. Yeah. What's happening in this game?
So in Punch Time Explosion XL, it's a brawler, it's a mashup of all these great Cartoon Network characters, all in one coming to the consoles. The whole goal is to knock out your opponents out of the arena, and at the same time we have adventure mode as well, so for 4-player co-op you can actually play through an original storyline and experience why all these characters are coming into each other's worlds.
Who are some of the characters we get to play as?
You get to play as Dexter from Dexter's Lab, Samurai Jack, the Powerpuff Girls, and even more recent characters like Ben 10, you have Kevin 11. We added new characters from what was released on the 3DS version. So for console, you're going to have 8 brand new characters, which includes Johnny Bravo. He was a big fan favorite. We added Aku, we added Scotsman from Samurai Jack, so plenty of favorites that players are going to recognize.
A lot of these Cartoon Network characters that you have in the game are originally 2D characters, and they have their own unique styles. What was it like adapting those styles, making sure they fit in this game, and then also just making them 3D?
We worked closely with Cartoon Network. Our artists worked very closely with even some of the creators of the shows. We had style guides, we had lots of reference art, and so we got to see the characters from all different angles, and that allowed our artists to really build those 3D models and have them look just like you would expect them to look. We covered just so many years of these classic shows that aired on Cartoon Network. It's a really unique fighting experience, a really fun brawler experience that hasn't really been done with so many great characters.
You can partake in Punch Time whenever you so choose, although now's not really a good time because Miri is here to tell you about some exciting new Blu-ray releases.
Nothing like the prospect of brand new Blu-rays and DVDs to get my heart racing with excitement. I've got some goodies for you this week, starting with a summer blockbuster from J.J. Abrams and Steven Spielberg. Period sci-fi flick Super 8 got mainly positive reviews when it hit theaters this past summer, and now you can see what everyone's been talking about.
Guys, watch out!
The disc boasts 2 full hours of extras, including audio commentaries, 9 production featurettes, and deleted scenes. Written and directed by Abrams, Super 8 acts as an homage to science fiction films of the 70s and 80s.
I believe you.
He was born on the battlefield, and now he's storming your Blu-ray players in 3D. Conan the Barbarian is a reboot that stars Jason Momoa as the Sumerian hero. Teamed up with a beautiful monastery student, Conan ventures out on a bloody, brutal quest to avenge the death of his father. Conan! Based on the sensational true story of Latif Yahia, The Devil's Double is now available. Latif is an Iraqi army lieutenant ordered to double for Saddam Hussein's son, Uday the Black Prince Hussein. Dominic Cooper garnered critical praise for playing both roles, and if you get the disc, you'll garner extras like a making-of featurette and an audio commentary.
Excellent.
Looking for a 3D title for the whole family? Spy Kids All the Time in the World may be what you're looking for. The fourth installment in the franchise also comes with special features, including an interview with director Robert Rodriguez, deleted scenes, and featurettes. If you just couldn't get enough trauma and gore from the first film in the franchise, The Human Centipede 2 is now available on Blu-ray.
Is this a perverted film you've been talking about?
Get the disc and you'll also score behind-the-scenes footage, a Foley session, and an interview with director Tom Six.
The Human Centipede 2 is one film that I don't have any plans on seeing. Now stick around because we've got more EP on the way. After the break, music-making machines and Michelle Williams as Marilyn Monroe. Welcome back to EP. If you're a fan of old Hollywood, then you've probably heard of Marilyn Monroe, one of the biggest movie stars of all time. Well, you have no idea what Jose would give to spend a week with her, but that's impossible, so instead he spent a few minutes with the director of the film, My Week with Marilyn.
We are here to talk about a week that I would give my life for, My Week with Marilyn, the film. Director Simon Curtis, tell me a little bit about the concept behind this film and where it came from.
It came from reading the diaries by a young Englishman called Colin Clark, who was the third assistant director on a film made in London in 1956 called The Prince and the Showgirl, which starred and was directed by Laurence Olivier and the great Marilyn Monroe in her first trip to London.
I'm gonna fall in love with you.
And so what was it like for you getting to put this story together from the memoirs of Colin?
Well, it was a really exciting journey because, you know, we were telling a first-hand account by a young man who was on the sidelines watching these two great icons of cinema battling it out on the set. And then amazingly, later on, he had this incredibly charmed, intimate week with Marilyn herself. So we learned a great deal about the true Marilyn Monroe from this first-hand account.
And what was it like for you as a director getting to go back into that sort of era and put this together?
It was very interesting. It was sort of a love letter to a lost world of filmmaking and a lost England. And we were able to film at Pinewood Studios, London, on the very sound stages that they'd made the film in 1956, and revisit many of the locations, including Parkside House, where Marilyn had lived when she was in London at that time.
Marilyn, darling.
What was it about Michelle Williams that made her the perfect Marilyn Monroe? Because she pretty much nailed it.
I think she did nail it. I mean, she is an extraordinary actress. She was a gift for a director to work with because she researched everything. She constantly was studying old movies and interviews with Marilyn, and she did really work on two levels. She looked at the exterior body language of Marilyn and also the interior psychological world of Marilyn, and I think that's why her performance has such detail and texture, because she explored everything.
Shall I be her? Marilyn.
What was it like getting to work with Judi Dench and Kenneth Branagh and Emma Watson as well?
Well, it's funny because when Marilyn came to London, she got to work with Laurence Olivier and Sybil Thorndike, and I said, well, I'm going to try and get you a cast on that level when you come to London, and fortunately, we sort of did.
And is it true what they say in the movie, that directing a film is the best job in the world?
Yes, it is the best in the world. It's the agony and the ecstasy is equaled nowhere.
I long to see her.
If you also long to see her, the film lands in select theaters this week, and now Shaun is here to talk tech. He's got the latest music tools from Korg. These small gadgets allow you to manipulate sound and create cool effects using your fingers.
Steve, I had a lot of fun with this thing. It looks like something on the original Death Star, I'm not gonna lie. What is the Monotribe?
It's a monophonic synth with a 3-part drum machine. You've got selectable waveforms, sawtooth, triangle, and square, plus the drum machine, 8-step little sequencer, and you can make some really cool noise and some wicked little patterns with this thing. It's great. It's so much fun.
So what are some of the kinds of things we could do with the Monotribe? I gotta play around with it a little bit. I made some squeaky, some really heavy stuff, but as far as the range of music goes, what can we do?
Well, if you're looking for a synth, you know, and you're not a keyboard player, but you want to use the keyboard that's on board just to play a couple of notes like a bass line, it's a great little addition to your studio. If you're a DJ or producer, you can link it into your live setup, which is really neat. And you can also sync it with your iPad if you wish. So it's got a lot of different applications depending on what your setup is.
Steve, another cool thing you guys have is the Chaos Pad Quad. I'm no stranger to the Chaos Pad line of products here. What is the Quad?
The Quad is a Chaos Pad where you actually design your combination of effects on the pad. You have to run some sort of audio into the Chaos Pad, and then you're basically manipulating effects that are being added to that audio in real time. So you design your own chaos, essentially, is the slogan from Korg. It's a really cool DJ kind of device. That's why a lot of guys are really hip to it.
What are some of the things that we could do with the Chaos Pad Quad?
It's an amazing thing when you can take any music, run it into the Chaos Pad, and almost feel like you're playing music along with music. You're not playing an instrument, but you're actually creating. Having the ability to be able to change on an X and Y axis 2 parameters at once, or in this case up to 4, is really cool, and it's a lot of fun.
If you're into that sort of stuff, we will show you more Korg tomorrow, and here's a look at what else you can see. On the next Electric Playground, we walk the green carpet with the Muppets.
Coming up tomorrow on the Sonar, 50 Years in the Making, a book for the ages.
And coming soon to EP, we delve into the creative minds of new media with our Storytelling 2.0 series. If you missed anything in the show or you just want to watch it again, you can visit us at g4tv.ca or go to our website at electplay.com. You can also follow us on Twitter under electplay and find us on Facebook under Electric Playground. I've got to get out of here, but I will leave you with a look at Bloodforge. It's an upcoming XBLA title that's stylish yet gruesome, so be warned.